So on a problem like this, it says multiply, but it's more than anything about applying properties you've already worked with, uh, the exponent properties. So the main ones that I can see right here that we're going to use are it's the product property. A to the m times a to the n is a to the m plus n. So if they have the same base, we're going to add the exponents. And then the other rule is the quotient property, where you take, let's use a different base just to keep them separate. If you've got b to the q over b to the r, then it's b to the q minus r. So you subtract, if you're dividing, you subtract. So even though it says multiply, you're going to be using the power property and you're going to be using the division or quotient property. Okay. By the way, sometimes this can end up being a negative. So in that case, we might need another rule. Let's say c to the s, negative s, is 1 over c to the s. So we may need that property. All right, so let's just start by looking at q to the x, I'm sorry, x to the cubed and x to the fourth. And so using, let's call it property 1, we're gonna add the 3 and the 4, that gives us a 7. I'm ignoring the 10/8 and the 12/11 just for a minute. Then I've got the y to the fourth and the y, remembering that there's a 1 up here. So that's a y to the fifth. Then I'm going to work with x to the third power, and here's another x to the third power, and we are multiplying. That I want to make sure that's clear. So then you're going to add 3 and 3 is 6. And then let's simplify y cubed times y squared. Add the exponent, so that's y to the fifth. Okay. Now, let's see if we can work with this somewhere on the side. Maybe we'll create a little box over here so we can work on that. I've got 10 over 8 times 12 over 11. And there's a couple of ways to handle this. I would say probably what comes to my mind is to reduce this fraction here. So 10/8 is divisible by 2. So this is 5/4. And then you can, what I call cross cancel. 4 goes into 12 and 4 goes into 4. So 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 12 3 times. So you end up with 15 over 11. The other way to have done this is just multiply the 10 and the 12. That gives you 120. 8 times 11 gives you 88. And then you can start reducing. But it's your choice how you go about that. So I've got 15 over 11. And now I'm gonna apply property number 2. But actually, before I apply property number 2, you may notice that those are gonna cancel. And so we're finally left with 15 over 11. And in the numerator and denominator positions, I have to do x to the 7th minus or over x to the 6th. You subtract the 7 and the 6, which is a 1. So you get x. So this here is your final answer.